We're talking Gayle King. Let's go.
May I say she is not doing well.
Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey.
La la la. This here is the next episode. Hey. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Viral Report. I'm Lamar. Man, y'all got Gayle King and her wifey Oprah out here crying, hiding, and shaking to the core because of the social media gangsters. Gayle King was absent on Friday's taping for CBS This Morning because of death threats. Now, if you've been sleeping under a time clock or in a rocking chair, or perhaps just don't know what's going on, Oprah's girlfriend did an interview with former WNBA star Lisa Leslie, talking about Kobe Bryant's legacy, which was a pretty good interview up until the end of the video where Gayle started asking trifling questions, which immediately sparked outrage on social media.
Which one did he sign?
Oh, that one's
both
signed.
of them.
For years, WNBA star Lisa Leslie has had Kobe Bryant's jersey on display in her home. But since his death, it's taken on a special meaning.
He will be missed, but he will not be forgotten, that's for sure.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time, Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, you know, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, but it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify.
With the cases, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify.
So it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
After that interview went viral, social media came for Gayle King, including Snoop Dogg and other celebrities, expressing their dislike of her questions, statements, and behavior during the interview, as they saw Gayle's questions as a continued pattern of attacking black men. Take a look what Snoop Dogg had to say.
Gayle King, out of pocket for that. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the fucking worst. We expect more from you, Gayle. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumb ass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call her one? Funky dog hit. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker. Respect the family and back off before we come get you.
I'm not feeling Snoop Dogg's threat to come after Gayle King. So after Gayle King started feeling the sting, she knew she had to address the controversy before CBS snatched her job, which we all know why she's sitting in that anchor chair. It's because of her ties to Oprah, which I see nothing wrong, because if you're going to have an alleged billionaire play bunny, why not use their connection? I know I would. So, like I said, after the interview went viral, Gayle took to social media in a live stream to address the backlash.
I've been up reading the comments about the interview I did with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. And I know that if I had only seen the clip that you saw, I'd be extremely angry with me too.
I am mortified, I'm embarrassed, and I am very angry. Unbeknownst to me, my network put up a clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context, and when you see it that way, it's very jarring. It's jarring to me. I didn't even know anything about it. I started getting calls. What the hell are you doing? Why did you say this? What is happening? I did not know what people are talking about. So I've been told, or I've been advised, to say nothing. Just let it go. People will drag you, people will troll you, it'll be over in a couple of days. But that's not good enough for me, because I really want people to understand what happened here and how I'm feeling about it. I reached out to Lisa because I know that she's a longtime friend of Kobe's, to talk about his legacy and their friendship. We had a really wide-ranging interview, talked about many things: his career, his passion, his sense of humor, the way he was mentoring other people, how he was starting his next chapter. It was wide-ranging. And yes, we talked about that court case, because that court case has also come up. And I wanted to get Lisa's take on it as a friend who knew him well, what she thought, where that should stand. And I thought it was very powerful when she looked me in the eye as a member of the media to say it's time for the media to leave it alone and to back off. During the course of the interview, I asked follow-up questions because I wanted to make sure that her position and perspective were very clear. And at the end, when she said it's time to leave it alone, as I said, I thought that was powerful. And I insisted that that part be in the interview, because I thought that it put a nice button on that part of the conversation. When the interview aired, we got a great reaction to it. I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview. And I felt really good about the interview. So for the network to take the most salacious part, when taken out of context, and put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview, is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them. And there will be a very intense discussion about that. I also want to say this. I have been with Kobe Bryant on many social occasions. He was very kind and very warm to me, and I felt that we had a friendly relationship. I too am mourning his loss, just like everybody else. I still am shocked by it. It's tragic and untimely, and the last thing I would want to do is disparage him at this particular time. And I hope people understand that. And that's why I'm taking this time to speak to you directly. I've never done one of these before. I've never done one of these before, but this was so important to me that I felt I had to say something. I don't want to sit up on a set and read a prepared remark. I wanted you to hear exactly where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling, and to let everybody know that no disrespect intended. And now I've got to go to work. I thank you for listening.
So after Snoop Dogg said what he said online and Gayle came out with her explanation, the situation got even messier and weird when the former U.S. ambassador to the UN, Susan Rice, yes, got on Twitter to tell Snoop Dogg to back the f*** off Gayle King. Susan Rice tweeted, "This is despicable. Gayle King is one of the most principled, fair, and tough journalists alive. Snoop, back the f*** off. You come for Gayle King, you come against an army, and you will lose, and it won't be pretty." Now, after Ambassador Gangster Rice foolishness, I had to scurry on over to my playlist and calm my nerves. I immediately selected Ooh, Child, Things Are Gonna Get Easier. So after almost calming my nerves, after that song ends, I see Oprah on NBC being the spokesperson for Gayle King. At one point, almost about to cry. Y'all check this out.
May I say she is not doing well.
Obviously, all things pass. She will be okay, but she hasn't slept in 2 days. She's not doing well, and feels that she was put in a really terrible position. In the context of the interview, everyone seemed fine, including Lisa Leslie. And it was only because somebody at the network put up that clip. And I can see how people would obviously be very upset if you thought that Gayle was just trying to press to get, an answer from Lisa Leslie. But she obviously, all things pass. She will be okay. But she hasn't slept in 2 days.
I think the last 24 hours for your best friend have been pretty difficult after that interview with Lisa Leslie about Kobe. And I just wondered just how she's doing.
She is not doing well. May I say she is not? She is not doing well because she has now death threats and has to now travel with security. And she's feeling very much attacked. Bill Cosby is texting from, is tweeting from jail. I think anybody can criticize anything, but the misogynist vitriol and the attacking to the point where it is dangerous to be in the streets alone, because it's not just the people who are attacking, it's the other people who take that message and feel like they can do whatever they want to because of it. I was on the phone with her this morning, I was on the phone with her last night, I was on the phone with her the night before. I think you stand in the gap, you try to be there for your friends, but this is very hard because when you have social media and the force of social media, and particularly people who didn't see either interview making attacks, and I think everybody has the right to have their opinion, but to do it with such vitriol is hate and meanness.
In closing, no one is buying Oprah nor Gayle's story. Oprah needs to stop trying to force tears out of those dry-ass tear ducts. It's impossible to cry, ma'am, when you're evil. I believe Gayle King prepped the questions before the interview. Her interview style is one of unprofessionalism. We saw this with the R. Kelly interview where she was laughing and very opinionated throughout the whole interview. But social media didn't care because this black man is no longer on their likable list.
Faith Rogers, Asante McGee, you're saying everything they said in that documentary about you is not true.
They are lying on me.
Why would these women say the same thing about you, that you are controlling, that you are abusive, that you tell women when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when they can sleep, where they can dress? Why would all these women tell these different stories about you if they were not true? And they don't know each other. That defies logic to me.
That defies logic to me.
So I think the point you're making is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to. Why? How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you were holding.
That's stupid, guys.
I didn't.
Is this camera on me?
Yes.
Is this camera on me? Yes.
That's stupid.
Robert,
Stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
Robert.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. Y'all, I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You're killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
Gayle seems to have this unprofessional interviewing style with select black people and is non-existing with whites and Latinos. Everyone is pressuring her to interview something on Harvey Weinstein, but she can't mess up her money nor Oprah's. So the question is, did Gayle go too far? I say no, as the alleged rape was part of Kobe's history, it's part of his legacy. Was it too soon to ask the question? I would ask, when would have been a great time to ask that question? If he was alive, people would say it's old news, move on. If he's dead, people would say, it's old news, move on. Gayle only asked that question to see if she could get a different answer from what other journalists have asked before her. That was definitely a blogger's move, not the move of a professional journalist. Snoop Dogg better be careful because Gayle has friends in high places, like the government, okay? With the snap of her finger, Susan Rice can make him disappear or get the IRS to make up something on him. And I just want to say, I'm so glad that Lisa Leslie handled the situation with grace. I just need black people on social media to keep the same energy, okay? Because Gayle's questions and rebuttals didn't warrant any death threats, if these allegations are true. I need people to have that same energy with Allison Morris.
The kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us.
Others who are actually saying more hurtful things or being racially shady. So this is the part of the video where I want to know, what do you think? Do you think Gayle, Snoop, and Susan Rice were all in the wrong for their actions? Do you think Gayle was just doing her job? Or do you think she's really after black men? And lastly, do you think all this noise is just mostly fake outrage and people jumping on the Kobe Bryant's emotional bandwagon, similar to what we saw with Nipsey Hussle? Let me know in the comment section below. Peace. Oh man, if you made it this far in the video, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It ain't a party until you subscribe. I love you for watching. I'll see that beautiful face in the next one. Peace!